And man, you've touched on it previously, but Vegas to me is just, they're in need right now. And real quickly, we can scratch Braden Holtby's name off the list. He's not going anywhere from the Dallas Stars. We learned that Anton Hudobin's out for 6 months after hip surgery. So Holtby is absolutely locked in Dallas, and that makes the market even smaller for goaltenders.
Yeah.
Marc-Andre Fleury's not going to Vegas, 0% chance of that. So who could Vegas potentially get help from? Can they really trust Robin Lehner's health? We don't know. We don't have an insight into that, Scott. We don't know how bad his lower body injury might be now, on top of the torn labrum that he has in his upper body that's kept him out. Like, can you duct tape this guy together for playoffs? Do you trust that? Because Laurent Brossoit hasn't won a game now in a long time, and he didn't look good last night.
No, it was not pretty.
No,
he was, and it's gave up 4 on 13. Logan Thompson 3 on 10 for a total of 7 on 23. My math's not good, but I don't think that's a good save percentage.
No, and the eye test wasn't good either. I mean, the scouting report on Brossoit is out. Put the puck in the air, shoot from bad angles. It might go in.
Yeah.
And it did last night repeatedly. And at the back end of a road trip for Vegas to go 0-5 at the most critical time of the year after Eichel's just come back in. Listen, I'm not going to make excuses for this team with players out of the lineup, because LA Kings have 7 or 8 regulars out and they keep winning. And they don't have half the lineup that Vegas did, but they also have more middle-class citizens. So they're not weighted as heavily towards their superstars as Vegas is, who are now out of the lineup.
Yeah.
Blake Wheeler, really good last night.
Yeah.
But the Golden Knights are in trouble here, Scott. And I don't know who they can get in goal to help if they need to. Georgiev's the one I'd look at. I think they'd be intrigued by him. I don't know how much he'd help. I think he might be a bump.
Yeah.
But
it's shocking to think, because now I know technically they're in a playoff spot today, but if you go by point percentage, they're actually 2 spots out. So if you go by points percentage, which is fair to do, they got to dislodge 2 teams to get back in the playoffs, and they can certainly do it. But man, there are teams coming. Winnipeg, and in fact, Vegas has allowed Winnipeg to stay in the hunt. Really, Vancouver is right there. Games
unbelievably,
in hand.
they are there.
Yeah, they're right there. I still have to believe in my heart of hearts that whether that at some point Vegas finds a way. But your point's a good one. What if Robin Lehner can't come back, or what if he comes back and he's 80%?
Mm-hmm.
That tandem, then 80% of Robin Lehner and Laurent Brossoit is, I don't know if you can stay ahead of Connor Hellebuck and Eric Comrie. I don't know if you can stay ahead of Thatcher Demko and the way Vancouver's playing. I don't know. What's your gut tell you about this Vegas team? Because it is, if you went to Vegas, the odds would have been long that they would miss the playoffs. But what's your gut tell you now with, we're trade deadline in sight and the stretch run after that?
There's just too many players missing in Vegas right now.
Yeah.
I mean, let's go down the list. Braden McNabb, Riley Smith, Alec Martinez, Mark Stone, Max Pacioretty, Robin Lehner, Brett Howden. I think I could keep going here. I'm forgetting people at this point.
Yeah.
Okay. You've got Eichel playing with Marchessault and Carlson, 2 centers on a line together, like trying to find anything. Pete DeBoer's just tossing spaghetti at the wall right now because he doesn't have any lines. He doesn't have players anymore for this. Pietrangelo looks like he's trying to do everything out there. He's making unforced errors that you usually don't see from him to make up for it.
Yeah. Shea Theodore's really quiet there. That's
if I look at this Vegas team, if it's not Vegas, I think I'm looking at it objectively thinking this is not our year. We got to get ready for next year. And that doesn't mean sell, but I think it's literally like whatever happens this year, we got to try to get through it. I mean, I remember when Tampa missed the playoffs in 2017 because they had so many injuries. It's kind of similar to that for me. I think it was 2017. And, we're kind of looking same territory here.
Yeah.
But that's not good enough for Bill Foley. Like, he's going to blow a gasket if they don't make playoffs, after everything that they've just done to get these players in. And goaltending hasn't, this is Robin Lehner's lowest save percentage since Buffalo or Ottawa almost a decade ago.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like he was lighting the world on fire, and Brossoit hasn't either. And I'm not throwing this all on the feet of them, because Vegas has been so bad defensively. Like, it's absurd the number of odd man rushes they're giving up.
Yeah.
No goalie is going to overcome that. But you've gotten okay to good goaltending in Vegas, and you need excellent goaltending on that team, the way that they play, the way they force up ice. And it gets exacerbated when they're missing so many players, because they have refused to change their style. They're still pressing. They're still going as hard. And they do not have the skill to do that right now.
Yeah.
And that's no slag on the guys in that locker room. They're doing the best they can. But at some point, you got to adapt. Like, if you're Vegas, like, just pack the middle, man. It's like, maybe not be as aggressive going up ice, because they're getting crushed on it right now.
Yeah.
So
crazy,
dude. I don't know what to expect. Pete DeBoer just straight up laced his goalies after the game. Like, I know it was veiled, and it was, I'm not a goalie expert, but sometimes you need a save. He was asked 3 times what went wrong in last night's game, and the first thing out of his mouth was goaltending on each of those.
Yeah.
He's had enough.
Yeah.
And if you're the coach and you've had enough, Scott, you know what those conversations behind closed doors are like, especially in an organization that was so paranoid that Marc-Andre Fleury was slightly off his game 2 years ago. They went and got Robin Lehner.
I know.
But how do they do it with cap space, man?
Oh,
like,
the whole, the whole thing with, Kelly McCrimmon and that, and I think you're right. I mean, at some point, if you believe in your team and you believe in the path and you believe in Jack Eichel, all those things, then maybe you do have to, moment of Zen, and just say, if it's not for us this year, we know how good we are or can be. Mm-hmm. But that's a hard. And you're right. I mean, Bill Foley's a demanding guy. Well, wants a Stanley Cup, and he's given that team everything.
He told Will Carlson that he needs to win 2 Stanley Cups by the time his contract's done. Yeah, that was the expectation. So,
better get
what's
to
Wild
it.
Bill thinking?
He better get on it.
I took this team-friendly contract so I could stay here, and now look where we are. So I'm not bullish on Vegas with their injuries, and I've held on as long as I could, to believing that team would end up there.
Fascinating.
Because it's another team that you can't miss playoffs.